Hello and welcome to my channel. The other day I was in an airplane and I looked out the window and I saw one of those guys in a yellow visibility vest whose only job seems to be really just walking around and making themselves useful. And I thought to myself, if everyone nowadays is going to get a degree, who's going to do that man's job? My name's Alexander and today I'm going to review Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. It's a book that was published in 1932 and it's a dystopian novel of about 250 pages. Or is it? Well, I mean about the being a dystopian novel and everything, not the 250 pages. That was true, although I guess my copy only does have 229 pages, but I like to round it up to get a nice round number, so that kind of was a lie, but that wasn't really my point. My point was... Plot summary!
The story takes place a few hundred years after the invention of the Ford Model T, and the world has changed quite a bit. Humans are being produced in test tubes, in several different varieties according to what intelligence, beauty and strength is required of them. They are then brainwashed from a very young age to accept totalitarian capitalism and mindless consumerism as something unquestionably good. So everyone is superficially happy, except for Bernard Marx, the protagonist, an anxious alpha male who has this unnerving feeling that something is not quite right. In order to figure out what it is that seems to be missing from society and from his life, he decides to do the unthinkable. Go and visit a savage reservation, a place where Native American tribes are still living life the old-fashioned way.
Like most dystopian novels, Brave New World is a warning about what our society could become. Huxley is playing a little bit with the notion of futuristic technology, but his main concerns are about the changes, the social changes that could happen within our society. In particular, he looks at the advances of consumerism and capitalism and imagines a world where everyone is encouraged to spend money and consume goods, while also on the other hand being actively discouraged from seeking any of the less materialistic pleasures of life. And to avoid meditation on any meaning of life other than just blind consumption, the government also produces this recreational drug whose only effect is to make people blissfully happy. The result is a society that, from our point of view, seems rather scary. That being said, Brave New World is the only dystopian novel I've ever read that didn't immediately fill me with this gloomy sense of despair. Unlike, say, 1984, where there seems to be some kind of cloud of tension hanging over every single description, Brave New World, most of it is written in a calm and pleasant manner. And although it's a serious book, it has a lot of humour in it as well. In, for instance, the way we laugh at the people who consider the word parent to be a dirty word. And even more importantly, all the people within this society are happy. Granted, their lives are empty, they're being brainwashed, and the drug is making them happy for no apparent reason, but all this is being done with the eventual goal of making sure that everyone is content with their place. Consequently, in spite of everything, Brave New World is also an incredibly stable society. And this brings us to my final point about the book. Is Brave New World a dystopia? And if so, what makes it a dystopia? I'm not going to answer that, but it's something worth thinking about as you're reading the book. Of course, some aspects of the society just really seem to frighten us, but is that because they're immoral as such, or is it because they're just too different from our world? I mean, when we look at other aspects, like the eagerness to consume, suddenly this society doesn't seem so dissimilar to our own. And yet we wouldn't call our society a dystopia, so why Brave New World? Again, it's hard to deny that people are happy, or at least more content with their situation than the average person in our world. So what makes Brave New World a dystopia? If you've read it, that's what I want you to tell me. Final thoughts on the book? I read it many years ago before I started thinking about the deeper meaning that can be found in books, and even so I enjoyed it at the time. It's fun, easy to read, interesting, and it's a classic. I don't think it's the kind of book that blows your mind, but if you're interested in the development of human society, I think it's a book that you ought to read one day. That concludes my review of Brave New World. Hope you enjoyed the review and see you soon. Huxley is playing a little bit with the notion of futuristic technology. You're annoying me. Where do you go? I think you go over here.